Welcome to the Dad's Corner, buddy.
Welcome to the Dad's Corner. Good to be here. Good to be back, bro.
I know. It's
excited.
been we kind of fell apart last week, and schedules just did not mesh.
So I was thinking, how long is a season
of
the podcast?
Of the podcast. I think before we can do like a what's it called, like a
season finale.
No, like the best of. I think before we can do a best of, we got to get to, you got to be at like 50.
Right.
To do, but I don't think we really have seasons on a podcast.
I see those, but whenever I'm uploading, I see that it asks for season, episode. What season is this episode?
You talking about like Netflix though?
I'm talking about podcasting.
I've never seen podcasts with this season. Really? Who?
Yeah.
Give me one.
I don't freaking know.
It's because it doesn't exist.
There are. I can't recall it off the top of my head right now. Just like, I just thought about it. I was just thinking, how long is a season? Is there seasons? So it's just like an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I would mean 15.
It's just episode number.
Yeah, I think so.
Not season 1, episode 5. Season 5, episode 11.
Yeah, because if we do that, then we got to start changing stuff. Like we got to start like wearing hoodies for the second season. You know
that's
what I mean?
what I'm saying. That's kind of fun, right? Like a new thing. Like, season 3,
like,
man.
The guys got their hoodies on. It must be the fall. Bobby's sitting here sweating though, sitting here drinking coffee, just sweating. And I like that shirt.
It fits me pretty good, man.
It does. It does. Only people with broad shoulders can wear clothes like that.
Well, I've had the weight of the world on my shoulders for quite some time now, and so
it's a heavy burden.
I'm starting to be able to just hoist it, lift it. But you know what I realized? I can't do it by myself, Jayson.
Nope.
I can't hold this weight by myself. I'm so grateful I don't have to.
I'm over here. I'm rocking what was supposed to be, I don't drink a lot of coffee, so it's going to be embarrassing when I say it, but it was supposed to be a caramel macchiato. Okay. Right? Okay. Which is like a caramel coffee, I think.
Right. It's a good drink. Good drink.
Well, I went over to the coffee place, and that's what I asked for. I'm one of those guys that when I walk in, it's like when you go in to buy your wife tampons. And it's like she tells you exactly what to get, and you just walk in, and if it doesn't say
exactly what you were told,
I saw a guy one time on a video. He walked back in, he had tampons and he had buffalo wings, and his wife was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, you wanted the tampons with wings." He said, "So I bought you tampons with wings." So, but I walked in, and I'm just the guy. I would just order the same thing. I don't ever stray because I either like black coffee or I like this.
Yeah.
So I said caramel macchiato, and she kind of looked at me, and I said, I know what she needs. Hot. Like she's waiting on me to say hot or cold. Okay. Hot. And she said, is that like what you order at Starbucks? And I was like,
oh.
If I go, I don't really go to Starbucks. I go to like 7 Brew.
Right.
Or make mine at the house. So I was like, yeah, I guess. And she said, so it's like the caramel, you want caramel vanilla. I didn't know vanilla was in it. So when she said vanilla, now I'm starting to second guess.
Is this
what I like? Is this what I want? And so when I said, well, I guess. And like I'm looking around, they don't have a lot of coffee machines. Like, a lot of the coffee places, it's just machines.
Yeah.
And it's loud, steam. We got milk, it's frothy all over the place. They don't have a lot of that. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be one of them hippy dippy places that I'm going to get something that's natural.
Yeah.
And, the caramel has been extracted from
grass milk.
Oh, yeah. But it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's still not what I normally have.
I tell you what, I love the aesthetics of it though. Like,
do I look like a
no? You look
polished.
What's the word? Basic, like a basic chick.
I feel like you almost said something else. You almost went basic. You almost called me that. You wanted to. I would just like the record to show that Tony almost said basic.
We do that to my daughter all the time. She loves Starbucks. She's never had like a caffeinated, I say never caffeinated. We get like decaf stuff for her. She had a Starbucks birthday party one time.
And like at the Starbucks?
No. So we did like a Starbucks cake. So the cake, it was Starbucks, and we had donuts and Starbucks coffee. So Krispy Kreme donuts and coffee was.
I got to tell you about
it. Was pretty dope.
You just made me think of it.
She had a coffee cake. It was
like made of. Is it like the coffee flavor? Like
it was like coffee flavor.
Yeah,
it was so bomb.
See, and that's the thing. I don't like coffee like that. Like the coffee flavored stuff. Like my wife, I don't like. Like I can just like I said, black coffee's kind of that's my gig. But there's a place down 412 called Sugar Llamas. So you know where that 7 Brew is right there? Well, it's behind it, and they make like little pastry. They're almost
macaroons.
No, they do make those. But what are those? You get them from like Krispy Kreme. You get donut holes, but they're like cake material, and you can get like the one we got had like peanut butter drizzled with like chocolate sauce on them. It's almost like taking a funnel cake and making them into a cake ball and then putting some powdered sugar with a little, and then they have like blueberry ones, they have s'mores ones, they have all these different flavored ones. Unhealthy as you could possibly believe, but so good. And you get them in like a 4-pack, 8-pack, 12-pack, 16.
So they are, in essence, cake holes. We ought to start a shop called Shut Your
Cake Hole. They've kind of already got it with just a different name.
What's the name of it?
Sugar Llamas.
Oh, yeah.
So, kind of like Sugar Mama, Sugar Llama. And they got a drive-through, so you don't even have to get out. But you can get, like we thought about for a birthday party.
That's right there by the spot, too, by my dealership.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to stop by Sugar Llamas.
It'd take you maybe 45 seconds to get there from your office, which is not good.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But you got to go by there now.
I'm going to, probably today.
So in terms of candy and sweets and stuff like that, Halloween's coming up. Halloween it's Thursday, so it's yesterday.
Yeah.
So happy Halloween. hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
But what's your favorite Halloween candy? I want to go both sides of it. What's your favorite and what's one you despise?
Black licorice.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you like licorice at all?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know who likes black licorice.
Me either.
You do?
I love licorice. I do not like black licorice.
I don't know who started making it and why they made it in the first place. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's got a bad flavor.
Like, who's keeping them in business? Like, who's still buying it is what I'm saying.
I think they're living off of red licorice.
Kind of like a right Twix, left Twix type of thing. The right Twix is always going to be the money maker. And left Twix,
because you can't have one. Because then it'd be just called Ix.
Okay, so my favorite candy is probably going to be, dude. I love candy corn. I know that's strange. I freaking love candy corn.
Before we talk about candy corn,
what I was gonna say.
Let me give you my worst one. Candy corn. Who's keeping them? Why are they so popular?
I don't know. I
mean, it is like powdery awful in your mouth when you chew them.
It's
anything else that tasted with that consistency, we would say is stale. But with those, we're like, this is good. This is great candy. It's Halloween. Like, go get the candy. Go get the candy that's shaped like a triangle, tastes like a butt, and is literally chalky when it's fresh.
Hey, the little pumpkins.
You know why they had to start doing that? Because everybody was like, I don't want to eat the triangle corn-looking ones. So they look like teeth.
No, they look like corn.
I had never seen no.
It's like maize. And so here's the thing: it's good. I eat them like I eat the white part first, and I eat the orange part, and then I eat the yellow part. You know, like.
Do you think that they all three taste different?
I don't know if they do or don't, but
I want you to tell me right now if you think they taste different.
If I got into like a candy corn eating contest where you had to eat as many as you could.
How many do you think you could put away?
I don't know, but everyone would probably finish before me because I have to eat them in the sequence.
Oh, so if you've got like 50 in front of you, you're not throwing 2 or 3 of them in. You're eating every single one of them by section.
Every one of them. And they don't even taste like that. I don't think they do taste different. Actually, they do. I know they do. Because sometimes they'll have like the chocolate one on the bottom.
But that's when they add a chocolate one. That's when they add the chocolate to the bottom. I think the top half tastes. It's just the food coloring.
I think each level is different.
So your favorite is candy corn.
I don't know that that's
and your
my
least
favorite.
Favorite is black licorice.
I don't know that candy corn is my favorite. Like my favorite thing is probably Snickers. But I just that's
a year-round candy.
I know it. And so whenever you said Halloween candy, I was thinking, okay, what's like a specific candy corn is really good.
The one,
I like it.
My favorite.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is Bulletproof. Because I know it's so good and that everybody else likes it, that it changes with the seasons.
So I'm probably going to agree with you then.
It is the pumpkin Reese's with the peanut butter. Because then at Easter, you got the eggs. At Christmas, you got the trees. You can go white chocolate.
You peanut butter loving
man.
No, I love.
If it's got peanut
Reese's.
butter in it,
I love Reese's. I'm a peanut butter fan too.
I got a confession to make too. So you see that brown wrapper over there?
What was it?
So
I saw it. I thought it might be a scone.
I was waiting, kind of. So I was waiting on you, and I thought I'm gonna go grab a coffee at that place that I've made feel weird at. They also have the stadium type seating in there, so there were some people that were sitting really close to the roof, which I wasn't ready for when I walked in. And anybody local is gonna know what place I'm talking about. But I walked in and immediately did this, and there's a guy sitting up here, but there's also people sitting below him, and there's like little stairs. It's like a whole not PVC but like steel pipes built up, and there's tables, and you like climb up these little stairs and you sit up at the top. Super unique, but I'm like, you better put a weight limit sign right there because I don't know how much you can get up there before you're coming down. But I went up there and I was like, man, you know what? I got another meeting after this, so I'm not going to be, I can't go grab lunch or anything. So it was called the Monster.
Oh.
Okay.
You ate a little monster before I got here.
It was about yay big.
Yeah.
But man, let's go like this. It was peanut butter, oats, M&Ms, and I can never remember what that fourth ingredient was. But anyways, into like this gooey ball. You ever make like the candy? I think it's at Thanksgiving that you make it, and it's almost no bake. It's kind of like the ball.
Okay,
that
so
has
that's probably like one of my favorite things. So we'll talk about the Chex. The Chex Mix, the powder.
Well, you're talking about like and you put in the Ziploc bags and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is like when you take I think people do it with pumpkin and stuff, but you like roll it out and you can bake them, but when they get done, they almost because they have oats in them, they feel like they're not baked, like they're still chewy.
I know what you're talking about. There's no bake.
That's what it was. That's what it felt like. That's what it had the consistency of, but it was gooey, and like every bite you got a little morsel of peanut butter. Like it wasn't peanut butter mixed in, it was like peanut butter bites. So it was like peanut butter chunks with M&Ms with oats, and so
It did something for you?
It did a lot.
So I want to change my answer. I want to go with puppy chow, and I'm good right there. Favorite seasonal. And so that's not necessarily Halloween seasonal,
but it's kind of. But what's cool
it's
about
kind of cold weather seasonal.
So my mom went to a craft fair,
okay,
and she bought a bag. Like people, it's one of those people are selling their own stuff that they make or whatever. And she bought it. She come home. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good!" And I got to looking at it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a pretty good mix." But you realize like the person who made this just went and bought 7 things, put it in a bag, and resold it to you. Like this is all stuff we could this isn't a hidden recipe. This is not something secretive that nobody else has. Like this is
Dorito. Okay.
There's a pretzel. Yeah. And it's like, there's a random M&M, which is crazy to have in here. And then you got the triangle Cheez-It things. And I was just like, we could have made this probably from what's in our pantry right now. But you went and paid, I'm guessing, $7 to $10 for this bag. She was like, I'm just supporting.
That's a good idea, actually. Random pantry check mix.
Oh yeah, random.
Just random, like whatever's in there at any given time.
RPM.
Random pantry mix. We just did something. Idea. Write that down.
I'm going to. Yeah, RPM. Gosh, I don't want to forget that. RP. Okay, so you're changing it to puppy chow. See, puppy chow is good to me. And explain what it is for people who.
So puppy chow, it's like the Chex Mix. It's the cereal, but then there's powdered sugar. There's like chocolate, peanut butter, all of that, and you just basically put it into a bag. Like we're gonna make some Chex Mix now, or some puppy chow now, and you basically put it into this into a bag and shake like shake and bake oven, shake and bake chicken.
Yeah.
You just shake it. And somehow it coats it perfectly every time. And you just, you just got something to just snack on. Like it's
okay.
It's just a little snack. Bow.
I'm like, man, that's okay. But like them Reese's that I'm talking about, it comes in like a 6-pack or a 4-pack. It's hard for me not to eat all of them in one sitting.
Do the pumpkin Reese's taste different than the other Reese's? Mm-mm. It's a Reese's. A Reese's is a Reese's.
Yeah, but they're thicker. They're thicker than like a Reese's cup.
Certainly.
Like these are. I mean, when you get a bite of this, you got some peanut butter in your mouth. So that's your favorite candy. What was your favorite costume growing up? What were you like? What was the year that you were like, man, I did it?
I don't know how old I was. I was Leonardo.
DiCaprio?
No.
The Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtle.
I was Raphael.
So,
wish we could have found each other back then.
Absolutely.
We'd only need 2 more pictures.
Do you have a picture of it?
Maybe. If I do, you know what? How I've got it? It's like an actual picture.
100%. I've got the picture. My mom has the picture.
I'll have to look for it. Yeah. We'll see if we can get them on.
She's got it. I think she has it readily available, like at any time. It's good. But it was in that time. It was like the big puffy outfit.
Yeah.
Had the turtle head on top.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I had a funny one year, which now I don't even know. They probably still sell it, but now it's just, I don't know if you could do it. But it was like a old man, and he had like a robe on, but it was a whole suit, and you like pulled the robe open, and it was like bare. But it was so funny because people, I had like the wig, and people would be like, "Oh, he's an old man," and I'd have like the robe, and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." And then you just like, "Bah!" And now I think about it, and I'm like, I don't know if you can even buy that anymore. And if you do, yeah.
So growing up, we didn't really do Halloween.
Well, if we didn't have kids, we wouldn't do Halloween. Casey and I despise Halloween.
I'm not a big Halloween fan either. I don't like haunted houses.
God.
I love God. I don't like haunted houses.
A lot of devil and ghost and ghouls and goblins.
And I don't want to pay somebody to try to scare me. I don't like being scared.
Well, especially the ones that you go in and like you could get physically hurt. Like what?
You're gonna try to run me over with a car?
Yeah. Or we walked out of a haunted house one time and a guy was chasing people with a chainsaw. Obviously, no teeth on it, but. Like I saw a lady face plant running from him, and it's just like, no, I'm not trying. I mean, I don't mind getting on a ride that I'm gonna be like, oh, this may be scary, but I'm not trying to get scared on purpose. Like they had this one, I think it was in Little Rock, where you if you could make it to the like 12th floor, it was free or something like that. But I'm like, man, if y'all are willing to give it to me for free, it's probably bad.
It's probably really bad.
Like I don't want nothing to do with that.
I have never been a fan of it. Didn't like scary movies. I still don't really like scary movies. I will watch a scary movie.
I pull the blanket up.
I watch scary movies to debunk scary movies.
Just to be like,
not necessarily out loud. Like I don't want to ruin the experience for somebody else. But yeah.
You know which ones I don't like?
What?
Like the Paranormal Activity ones.
Yeah.
The one that camera angle. So like scary movies, just the almost like old camcorder style video cameras, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And the Paranormal Activities are the first ones to really, like Blair Witch.
Yeah, Blair Witch.
How everything is on that camcorder style. And when you see it, because you're like, when you see the movies that are made, you're like, okay, well, this CGI. Like, a lot of this stuff's not real. Not that I'm saying any of it's real, but the Paranormal Activities, like when that girl, like all of a sudden just raises up out of bed, and I'm like, oh God, it's like it's their security cameras. And I'm thinking about like our security cameras. What if I was watching our kids and all of a sudden one of them just stood up with no movement? Just, that's what I'm thinking. That if that happened, to be crazy.
There are, I don't know. I don't want to get into the weeds on that.
Yeah.
But there are some otherworldly things that could be, but I don't. I don't subscribe.
Well,
to
last
a
thing
lot.
on costumes. What do you feel about couples costumes? Have you and Tiffany ever?
We don't really do a whole lot. Like, I mean, we haven't.
Like outside of us dressing up with the kids, I mean, Casey and I haven't. But like the ones where it's like the plug-in and the plug-in, or the deer in the head, like girls dressed up as like a headlights, and I kind of think it's so cheesy.
It is. I guess it's fun for a party setting. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad whenever we both don't like Valentine's Day, and we both don't like Halloween.
So
because it's just made up holidays for you just to spend money.
You did good on Valentine's Day. I don't mind. I like Valentine's.
My thing is, if you treat her exactly, Tony, if you treat her like that every day, you don't need a special day.
You don't.
And who is Cupid to come in and take credit for what I've been working on all year?
100%.
He didn't shoot me with an arrow. I took that arrow, threw it back at him.
Snapped it.
I mean,
you might try to shoot that at somebody else.
He freaking got it, and it bounced off of me. I said, I don't get that out of here. My love is strong.
Talk about
I mean,
it. Talk about it.
My freaking, I'll tell you what, that's my gift from God right there. I don't need a day to tell her that she is.
That's right.
I just do it every day.
That's right.
So get out of here.
With all that
mainstream media trying to get me to buy a bunch of like the sweethearts and stuff at Valentine's Day, trash.
It is.
What
trash.
are we doing?
So one thing that Tiffany and I do for Valentine's Day, like, and we do a little bit here and there, but one thing we do, we don't even have to talk about this right now. It's not Valentine's Day.
It's not.
And I don't even want to give it any
shine. I feel like you're
right
getting,
I don't even want to give it any shine.
Forget that, dude.
We'll talk about it when it comes up. It's good, though. You might want to try it.
with Halloween, then comes Thanksgiving, then comes Christmas. Seasons changing. Weather's getting a little cooler. It's crazy because it's November and it's still, I mean, it was in the 90s last week.
All it's going to take is one rain. And it's going to just be a switch. It's coming. I feel it.
When people are watching this, it's happening right now.
Right now.
When you're watching this.
Yep, it's raining.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh my God, how'd they know? Like, it is raining right now. But Casey and I got married in November. So our anniversary is Saturday. Like, this coming up Saturday. And when we got married, it was like, we took all of our wedding pictures outside. So people were talking about, it's getting warmer. I mean, it's been like this.
Yeah.
You know, like when people tell me that, I just look and I go, well, we're still not breaking the record that was set in 1935. So it can't be, you know what I mean? Like when I hear those things. But I like this time of year. I'm not a ice cold person. I'm not saying I want to live in Alaska, but also I enjoy like the 40s, 50s, 60s. Walk out of your house in the morning and it's like, ooh, a little brisk. But it's also not walk out and go, ugh, walk back in.
This is probably my favorite season, like as we enter into fall. One reason is gear, like the things you can wear. I could wear shorts with a long sleeve hoodie or a sweatshirt. I could wear pants with a short sleeve shirt, and nice little jacket. Like you can it's the most stylish season to me. And then I don't know, man. I like that air. I like the air.
It sucks. The only thing I hate is when you change to it is that in the mornings, that like month span where you go from in the mornings, it's kind of chilly. So you have a jacket, and then the afternoons, your jacket's off. Right. I don't like that transition. But other than that, yeah, I'm just, because you like send your kids to school too. You're like, they're like, we need a jacket. I'm like, no, it's going to be 90 today, but it's hard to tell them when they walk out and they're freezing. No, you don't get a jacket.
That's right. No, that's right.
Like you're not even going to be on recess for like 2 more hours. It's going to be warm when you get out there.
And here's like I've done that several times with Dex. I've put him in a hoodie. Like, hey, make sure you take that off. He'll come back home and guess what he's got on? A hoodie.
Stinking.
And it's hot outside. And I'm like, dude, take the hoodie off. And he's like, oh yeah, had it on all day.
Like, thanks, Dad. I mean, Cope's always like, hey, can you zip it up? I'm like, dude, you're gonna take it. You can't unzip it. So if I zip it, you're gonna be winning. You're gonna be laying at nap time, going, boy, it's warm in here. But I mean, here we are. But I like it too because I like hunting. It's a perfect time. Like this is sitting out there hunting in 90-degree weather is brutal.
Yeah.
But when it gets a little chilly and you wake up and it's cold, got duck hunting coming up.
See your breath.
Oh yeah, just know like you're in it. You're in God's country.
Like the element.
You're in God's country. You're out there where it was you're intended to be. Yeah. You're going to have to go this year.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You're gonna have to dunk this year. So
I know.
So I mean, that's a couple of things.
I'm at 9. I'm at 9, almost 9.5.
I have it jumped in a little bit. And we're about to get into basketball season. So that's another reason why I love this season is seasons are changing. So we're switching into basketball season.
This is all right. So we both love basketball. Yeah. I think that's. I mean, you would you say you like basketball more than baseball?
I like basketball more than anything. Yeah.
I wasn't going to get into this, but I want to get into this. What's your thoughts on the LeBron and Bronny?
It's amazing.
I mean, like your whole thoughts on it. Or you want me to go first on it?
Go ahead.
So
Please.
I think the only thing I think about it that isn't said enough, and maybe it's been said some, LeBron deserves this. Bronny doesn't deserve this. He wouldn't have a spot on this team if it wasn't for his dad, which is not his fault. I mean, that's his son. I think it's a cool moment. I think the Lakers handled it perfectly. I think J.J. Redick handled it perfectly. I think he said, all right, let's get him in there. Let him play a few minutes. Let's get him out. Now he's going to be going back and forth between the G League and them. And the thing is, he's a good ball player, but there's so many things that's happened for him that the only reason he's gotten that extra push, like being a McDonald's All-American when he was only averaging like 14 points a game, mm-hmm. I think nobody's ever averaged below 20 and made the team, mm-hmm. McDonald's team.
I didn't know that.
Kendrick Perkins brought that up. I heard him bring up that stat. He had all the health issues. He also probably wouldn't have been able to come out of USC with the numbers that he had if his dad wasn't LeBron. But I think what makes people the most, you know how much his contract is?
How much?
$7.9 million. He signed like a 2 or 3 year, maybe actually it may have been a 4-year, $7.9 million contract.
Wow.
Nobody gets that their rookie contract. Nobody gets that long or that much.
Wow. I don't know. I think that he's got a lot of potential. He's going to develop, obviously, in the G League. I saw a couple of good things from him whenever I was watching some of these games. I love the narrative. Like I said, I think I said that whenever we first started talking about it. I love the narrative, and LeBron does deserve it.
Yeah.
And if anybody can bring
the way he's playing, he may get to play with his next.
That's what I was saying. Anybody that can bring in somebody, it doesn't matter what their skill level is, and still be like you're that dominant. Like he's freaking dominant, man. People talk about it in the league all the time.
Oh yeah.
And we'll have to do a sportscast about some of that because I think it's huge. Like I love the narrative. I love the whole situation, and I love seeing the hate on it because I think that it's going to be, I don't know. It's unprecedented, bro. It's freaking phenomenal to me. I love it.
Well, and they compare him to which we'll talk more about this later, but they compare him to the Griffies, and I think the only thing I have a problem with that is Griffey Jr. was better than Griffey Sr. Like from the jump. I mean, when he came in, people were calling Griffey Jr. the next Willie Mays. Like people knew Griffey Jr. was going to be better than his dad. Nobody's even thinking Bronny's going to be close to LeBron. So they're comparing like, well, it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal because LeBron's been able to stay in the league that long, but I don't think it was as big of a deal to me. I was glad they did it, got it over with. That way we didn't have to hear every game like, is Bronny going to get in this game? Is he going to get in this game? Or J.J. Redick like forcing him into the rotation. I was glad that.
No, JJ's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he's going to be, and he got in LeBron's ass last night.
I told people were like, he's
but
never,
also
he
wouldn't have gotten the chance he did if he didn't have the podcast with LeBron. So it's
if
just
it
LeBron.
LeBron has created this whole thing.
Yeah,
you can't be mad at it.
No,
and that's what I'm excited about.
When you're the second best player of all time, you get to do whatever you want.
Dang, bro.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Longevity, bro, has got to live. Has got to last. Like at this point, most people's or some people's GOAT. Some people's favorite, best player in the world was on a decline. It was like on a vast decline. Was scoring 5-6 points maybe at the Wizards.
Yeah, that was after he had left and gone and played baseball. I'm just saying. And played another sport.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Which LeBron too. I mean, he when you start in the league at 19, you got them years to put them stats together.
Crazy stats.
Oh yeah.
But you started early, and then you're playing late.
Oh yeah, freak of nature for sure.
He's.
My thing is if he's not your goat now, which he's not mine, he's not going to do anything to change the people who don't think he is. Like, there's nothing else for him to do to change that. So, but like I said,
except for play like another 5 years.
The way he's playing right now, he may play with his son who's a junior in high school
Bryce,
right now.
No, that one. He's going to be
Bryce
the one.
is built like LeBron.
He's going to be the one.
So Bronny's like 6'2", 215, something like that. Bryce is 6'6", 6'7". Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the one.
Yeah.
So another thing I love about this season, I love the leaves changing.
Okay.
Like, it looks amazing. I hate the leaves in my yard.
Mm-hmm. Are you one that deals with them as they come, or do you wait till they're all down?
So I used to be one all down, and then over the course of the last couple of years, Tiffany has helped me. She has encouraged me. No, she is not holding a knife up over there. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Okay, Tiff, chill.
All right.
Chill, Tiff.
No, yeah, she has encouraged me to get them more, regularly. This year, and we should have done it previously, like we have, but this year we were a lot more, like I made him help me a lot more. In previous years, plays with the rake, he does little things.
You make a big pile, jumps in it.
Yeah, and destroys, all the work I've done. This year, we got out there, Dex, we're going outside, we're about to do some work. And so we go out there, and I grab our 2 rakes, I grab the leaf blower, and we're out there. And so I'm like, choose a rake. He grabs the biggest rake.
Obviously.
He grabs the biggest rake. And so we're out there, and we're getting it, and then he grabs the leaf blower. I'm like, just blow the leaves right there, grabs the leaf blower. And I'm thinking that he's going to continue to use his leaf blower. And we get on the side of the house, and it's like the big side. We got a big tree, a lot of leaves out there already. And so we're raking it. And it's just quiet. It's just quiet. It's just I hear him back there. I'm going fast. Kind of showed him how to pull it together. And I was thinking, I looked over there and there's the leaf blower, and I'm thinking, like, he didn't even want to use the leaf. Like, he's getting it. But what's cool is I see him learning from me how I'm grabbing it and how I'm pulling. And he's mimicking. So I hear it go from like to like he's doing it. So at one point, we set the rakes down. I grab the leaf blower and I'm getting them off the porch and stuff. And he's closer to my rake, and he grabs my rake and he picks it up and he's like, "Oh, that's why," because he grabbed this big rake. He grabs the little one. He's like, "Oh, that's why." And he starts doing it.
Get a lot faster.
Yeah,
a lot easier to move. See, for me, this time of year, I like a wood fire in the fireplace. Like that's we got that fireplace in our house. The guy who built it, genius, put a blower. It's like put one of the inserts has a blower on it. So right before we go to bed, you get the coals super hot. You stack it full of wood, like as many pieces of wood as you can get into it. Close the door, turn the blower on, and that upstairs stays toasty. Now by like 6, 7 in the morning when we come downstairs, it's burned out, it's chilly, but dude, there's nothing better.
That's awesome.
Nothing better than a fireplace. And I've never had one growing up. So we had like a gas fireplace my whole life.
So we had a fireplace growing up at our house.
First 2 years we lived in our house, I never used it.
We have one in our house now, but our TV is over it. And so we're about to we're going to change that whole thing is to be like an accent wall. But we made a conscious decision that we're just not going to use the fireplace. The way it was designed, like the TV kind of has to go there.
Is there a mantle?
There's a mantle.
Well, what does it matter?
Well, because our TV it's big, and so it's on an arm.
Can't hide money.
It's on an arm, and so it comes out over the fireplace.
So you can't like push it back to the.
Well, I could, but the gap for the mantle isn't as wide as the TV is. Like it hangs out. It looks good, but it's over the fireplace.
That's sad. So this weekend we've got daylight savings time. What are your thoughts on just that in general? I have very specific thoughts about it.
I'll tell you what I know about daylight savings time.
Okay.
Fall back.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
That's what I know.
I hate it. I think it's dumb.
It's
so I looked up why that we even have it first off. So World War One.
Okay, are you about to tell us what it is? Because I have no clue what daylight savings time is.
It's literally when we change the clocks in the spring and in the fall 1 hour, and it's so that you can get more use out of the summer sunlight hours. Like that was originally why it was done. So World War One, they wanted to conserve energy, so they wanted people more outside. So it was to use more. Like the day's not necessarily longer. You're not getting more sunlight by doing it or doing anything like that. It's just during the summer, if you didn't do it, it would kind of be like what we're about to go into. Yeah. It would just be different times. So they spring you forward so that way it stays brighter longer into your day. So it was really like, that's the only reason. So the Northern Hemisphere, like we're one of the only ones that do it. And even 2 of our states don't do it. So Arizona and Hawaii, they do not observe it. So they never change their clocks. Throughout the whole year, their clocks stay the same. They don't change it at all.
Arizona?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, and what it said is 2 places in higher elevations, which kind of makes a little sense about Arizona, but then closer to the equator, there's not enough difference in sunrises and sunsets, so that's why they don't observe it there. But like Australia, they've only got 4, I think they're called states and 1 territory or 4 territories, and they're the only ones in that country that actually, or on that continent that observe it. So it's not like a normal thing that everybody does. Yeah. But it's still, I think it's dumb. Because then people get aggravated because they're like, well, now you get depressed. And so in the one in the fall that we're about to have, depression, anxiety, even car crashes go up around daylight savings times because people are so upset about like losing an hour. Or about like it getting darker sooner.
It's crazy.
Because like you wake up and it's light, but then it's 5 o'clock. You're on your way home from work and it's already dark.
Yeah.
And so people are already upset That's about it.
Crazy.
But to me, I just don't even get what's the point. Like why we even need to have it.
Well, you just said because it's for your light, for the light.
But you would just have it the year round.
Well,
like just leave it.
Well, then we would use it all. So we're trying to save the daylight. We would utilize all the daylight, and so we're trying to save light right now.
Well, there's not like an amount of daylight.
You only get so much.
you're like God said, you only get a little bit, so you don't want. If y'all use it all up, it's gonna be dark.
It's gonna be dark for a long time.
I think it's dumb.
Daylight savings time. That's this weekend.
The only way I can remember it every year is because daylight, like fall back, almost always coincides with our anniversary, and then spring forward almost always lands on our daughter's birthday.
So let me think. Fall back, you gain an hour.
But you gain, well, you think about it like that. You gain an hour. Basically, you're going to go to sleep, and at 2 o'clock, instead of it being 2 o'clock, it's going to be 1 o'clock. So yes, you gain an hour of sleep. However, you lose an hour of that like daylight. So instead of it being 7 or so when it's getting dark, it's going to be closer to 5.
Okay.
And then spring, you spring forward, so you lose an hour of sleep.
This is the time. So I heard something about it. So one of my mentors has and I can't think if it's this or if it's the spring forward. But one thing, you set your alarm clock. It's spring forward. You set your alarm clock like at the same, like an hour earlier, and basically it's the same time that you would normally wake up, but you can actually wake up an hour earlier. And so I don't know.
Well, some people you have to be careful because there's so many clocks that automatically adjust to it. So like your phones and things like that. So you have to think about that ahead of time too, which aggravates people because they don't do it. So, and then one other thing that's coming up, I don't know if you knew this or not, but next Tuesday, it's election day.
Yeah.
In America. So, how you feeling about it?
I'm not scared of it. Like, I don't know, Jayson. It's one of those things that we've got the choices we've got. And we're going to have to roll with whatever punches come with it. And so I'm hopeful of one thing or the other. Like, but whatever happens, we're gonna have to roll with the punches. Like, we gotta adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And so it's never been something where I've allowed it to prevent me from moving forward. Like, I see a lot of people that get paralysis during this time. Like, they don't want to make any moves.
Mental health is
they don't want to do anything because they fear of what is coming.
Yep.
Whether good or whether bad, and there's a lot of negative to focus on right now, but I think that there are some good things that are happening, and so it's one of those things, man, like where you have to know that, and where you have to have the right mindset, and don't allow the propaganda, don't allow the media to indoctrinate whatever they may try to indoctrinate on you to kind of cause those fears, those fear points, or if they're in, then this is what we're going to have, and if they're in, then this is what we're going to have. And I think that if we can control the things that we can control, like, the world would be a better place. It doesn't matter who's in office, So
yeah, I think I used to be super, I was not one of those, not worried so much to where I'd be freaking out about it, but also just seeing some of the candidates and being like, man, we don't need that person. We don't need them in the office. And disagreeing with friends or agreeing with friends or letting it affect friendships, which is crazy. And I've come to the realization it doesn't matter if we're Democrat, Republican, you're neither. It doesn't matter if you're an American or not. It doesn't matter. You're a child of God.
That's right.
Like, that's the only if you're a Christian and you believe in God, that's the only president we have. And so it doesn't mean you just get to go do whatever you want. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you have to know that he has a plan. And I mean, look at the number of things that have happened in your life that you don't agree with or that you didn't want to happen, but you trusted that, well, it's happening for a reason. And that's kind of how I look at it. So whichever candidate wins, whether it's the one I vote for or not, I'm not fearful of it, because at the end of the day, I know when it's all over where I'm going. And so it's just one more step to me in getting there.
It reminds me a lot of Halloween. A lot of people are putting on the costume. They're going to, garnish whatever side they want to, be on, and they put on their costume. And a lot of times it's like a mask of who they think they ought to be, for this time. And I see a lot of people losing that human touch, and they become something else. And so I think that absolutely, I think that's a really good point, is that we are all connected. We're all children of God. Like, we all have a purpose here, and it's not to argue about red or blue or a donkey or elephant. It's not. I mean, that's not what it is. Like, it's to be good humans. And this whole country was predicated on freedom, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, there's a lot of pushback on people's freedoms right now and what they might believe in. And so,
well, and there's also a lot of entitled people.
For sure.
Like, I'm not saying just when you post it you're being entitled, but the fact that it's almost, just say you voted. Like, it doesn't matter that you list who you voted for, or that you throw the little snippets in of why you did or whatever. And I think for the most part, not always, but for the most part, the people I'm friends with on Facebook, I can probably with a 90% accuracy pick who they're all voting for.
Certainly.
And who different ones are voting for, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or some who aren't going to vote at all.
Yeah.
And so when I see it, I just laugh, because nobody cares. Like, that's what I want to say on a lot of people's posts when they post, I voted for such and such. I voted. So, like, just say that you voted.
I voted.
And if somebody wants to get into that conversation with you, they'll say, oh, who did you vote? Who did you vote for? But you won't get that, because 95% of the people who follow you knew that you were going to vote for them.
100%.
So it's almost just like saying, it's almost, putting an opinion out there just to see that you're putting your opinion out there.
Well, you're looking for an echo chamber. You're not going to change. You are not going to change somebody else's vote,
right?
Especially with your Facebook posts, with your Instagram.
Tony voted for them, so gosh, I better,
you're not going to.
Yeah.
And so it is a soapbox. You're not on the ballot. Like, let them speak. Like, I understand. Well, I understand advocating. I understand.
But I just
certain people have a platform.
Social media this time
it's giving everybody a platform to say and speak their own piece, and so you have to accept that freedom as well. Okay, I accept that you have that freedom, but it's the people with that freedom that choose not to accept other people's freedom in certain senses sometimes. Like, and I see a lot of bashing. I'm praying for all of them. I'm praying for everybody. That they make it through to December, because then we'll be talking about baby Jesus.
Well, yeah, and then just letting it go. And if you and a friend are different on your votes, who cares? Like, you and I differ on a lot of stuff.
Got a little dirt on your shoulder.
It's just crazy. There's only one thing that I won't back down from, and that's my faith. So I'll go to the grave with that one. So you're not going to change me. You're not going to talk me out of it. You're not going to, make me go the other way. But everything else, it's like, man, you're different. That's cool. If that's how you. I'm not the same way. I don't agree with who you're picking as a candidate, or I don't agree with that stance. But at the same time, if you want to come over and eat dinner, like, you still can. Like, we're not gonna lose a friendship or a family member over it. But the people who get all twisted up in it, and this is what I tell people: you can't change it.
No.
Like, the thing is, if you don't like somebody, doesn't matter if you don't like them. Mm-hmm. If they win, you're not going to get them out of office. So,
I told them not to pick them.
Yeah, So, but it's the same thing. It doesn't matter who wins. The other side will lay into it. But as my dad told me a long time ago, is there's one side that we should vote for, unless it's a candidate, kind of the background and what the stances are and how you should vote moving forward. But at the end of the day, none of that really matters, because none of them are in charge.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
But to lighten the mood, because we got a little heavy right there.
I don't feel like that's what it does, bro, and it shouldn't do that. Like, there are some good topics.
Yeah.
It shouldn't do that, but that's what it does. Whenever you start talking about politics,
I'm pissed.
You're adding a little bit extra weight.
Flip this microphone over. I'm so mad right now.
Why are you mad?
I'm not mad, but I got a pretty good dad joke.
Give it to me.
All right, so we were kind of talking about spring forward, and we were talking about spring.
Yeah.
So this is a spring joke, okay?
Okay.
So you've heard that April showers bring May flowers.
Certainly.
What do May flowers bring?
April showers bring May flowers. May flowers bring butterflies.
Pilgrims.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dude,
that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, my son.
That felt good.
That's a good one.
Good stuff.
That landed.
Hey, one more thing. Shut the dang door.